Morning. I'm Marge, a Unity in Lynnwood prayer chaplain, and I'm happy to welcome all of you this morning for our time of silent meditation. Whether you're here in our chancel or in our virtual online community, we cherish this sacred time on Sunday morning, excuse me, as we come together to share the powerful frequency of meditation. So I invite you to settle with comfort into your chairs or wherever you're sitting. Take several deep breaths and let them out with a sigh. Drop your breath down into your heart and slow your breathing. Just rest. Rest and let your heart fill with quiet joy. There is nothing you have to do right now, nothing you have to plan or be responsible for in these next few sacred minutes. This is your time of nourishment, your time to become refreshed. Let Spirit nurture you as you go into the silence. Gently bring yourselves back into this physical space. Breathe deeply as you gently open your outer eyes. Embrace the knowing that you are on the path of light, even when you cannot see the way. Trust that God is opening the way before you and bathing you in light. And please join me as we bless Dr. Richard and Matthew and our musicians for the richness they bring to the service. And we bless the many people who continue to contribute to the creation of this time together. And we carry that blessing to ourselves, whether here in our chancel or in our virtual congregation. And so it is.
Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Peace inside the earth, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside the earth, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, 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 Om.
How lucky are we? That's great.
Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, 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 Om.
All right. Sound great.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever new beginning here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul.
Good morning, Unity in Lynnwood, those near, those far. My name is Linda Babin, and I will be your platform assistant this morning. We will begin our hour together this morning by bringing our attention to the present and to presence. Closing the outer eye can help with this shift. Capital P, presence, is another word for God, Spirit, pure being, one power, creator, whatever works best for you. If you are comfortable, let my words speak for you too. I breathe in deeply now the flow of Spirit within and all around me. I turn my awareness to the physical sensations of peace and relaxation in my body. I feel into this relaxation and presence, knowing I cannot be separate. I cannot be alone. I rest in the anchoring pulse of my beating heart. We are each uniquely pushed and pulled by the demands of complex lives, which often move quickly in unexpected directions. Too easily, it seems, I can be knocked off my center. So I look to and I create moments like this one for myself. I can do this alone. I can do this with others. Through the inward glance, I shift my focus back to spirit, back to source. From this place of oneness flows abundance, possibility, renewal, and all good things. So I make myself available. As I ground myself again in spiritual truths, I prepare to give and to receive all that can be helpful, nurturing, comforting, and constructive. I am grateful to play my small part, and so it is.
Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul.
Thank so much. It's great to be back. Thank you. If you'll join me in singing You Are the Light as we welcome our youth. All right.
You are the light, you are the light, you are the light in this world. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light in this world. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine so bright. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine so bright.
Good morning and happy Sunday. So if you'll just say a prayer for all of our youth who are actually right now at a theater program. So a lot of them are out doing tech and getting and celebrating their theater programs. So if you will join me when we send a blessing to send that out to them. Couple of announcements. We're super excited about Super Bowl. Thank you for all the donations. Keep them coming. And then Teen Night. So Teen Night will be the first Thursdays of every month. Our first one will be February 2nd. So I'm super excited about that. Let your teenagers know it's going to be a fun night of social time and hanging out and making plans and getting ready for some events. So please join me in saying a blessing for our youth, present and not.
We do that? Okay.
You are the light in this world.
Let it shine so bright. And as they exit, will you greet one another while respecting our sticker colors?
We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine so bright. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine so bright. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine so bright. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine so bright.
Well, let's make our way back to our chairs, if you will. So nice to be able to be on our feet and greeting one another again. Oh, I'm grateful for that. So welcome. It is both my pleasure and my honor to welcome all of you here today at Unity in Lynnwood. Some of you are able to be here in person. Some of you are joining us virtually. We are all connected. And I want to say welcome back to Richard and Matthew. I know it was only 1 week. And we missed a chance to celebrate a birthday, so let's just take 30 seconds and say, happy birthday, Dr. Richard. We're so glad you were born. At Unity in Lynnwood, we do believe that we have quite a bit to offer curious people who enjoy thinking about life and wondering about life with other curious people. You'll find people here wanting community and connection and to grow their worlds a little larger, a little brighter. One of the first things we hope newcomers notice is that Unity in Lynnwood is a friendly place. You don't have to think about fitting in because for us, you already do. We know that people are different, and for us, that's a positive thing. Unity is an accepting and inclusive culture and community. As individuals, we've had unique life experiences, and as a group, we represent many different lifestyles. Our differences only build a richer, deeper tapestry of community. We celebrate differences here. We also frequently find common ground. We want you to know that our spirituality is practical. We come here to learn and do things that we can use every day to make our lives better. You will hear about classes and small groups which provide chances to meet people and make new friends while you're learning and growing. We also want newcomers to know, especially if they are parents or grandparents, that we love our children at Unity in Lynnwood, and we are eager to share with them our loving God in an environment that is safe and inclusive, affirming, creative, and fun. If you are able to stay after service, please join us for coffee across the hall in the large room we call our Friendship Hall. Perhaps make a new friend. Welcome.
One power, one power, one power. One power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, yet we see it everywhere in everything. One power indescribable, yet we speak of it in every word we say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord. Call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. There's one power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, have different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in our hearts we're all the same. Well, remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord. Call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. It's one power, one power, one power. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunlight on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon for its love that's most deep. It's one power. Oh, oh, it's one power. and me, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
It's a good band you got there. What a pleasure, what a joy to return to the very depths of you yet again. I was with you last Sunday. Oh my goodness, what a depth of talent you are. Would you join me in thanking Francis and Amanda and Elizabeth, please? So I received a video from Reverend Nina Clark this morning. She is the senior minister at Unity of San Antonio, Texas, and their youth department has challenged our youth department to the Super Bowl Sunday canned goods in-gathering. On her end, it will benefit the food shelter of San Antonio. On our end, it will benefit the food shelter of Lynnwood. So if you haven't yet been inspired to participate for the children, I'm going to play that card. It was the cutest video. The youth of Unity San Antonio saying, "Get on it, Lynnwood. Get on it, Lynnwood." If you're a member of our online audience this morning, we invite you to open your social media chat window, identify your geography, give us a first name, allow our community and our social media host to welcome you even now. My goodness, Judy McNall in Florida, Art Johnson in Lynnwood, Washington, Lori Crane, Karen Breen James, Pascaline in Nairobi, Deborah in New Jersey, Dale, Lake Stevens, the list goes on. In-house audience, will you welcome them with me by saying, "We see you. We see the highest truth of you. We see the infinite light of you. Welcome. Welcome. And welcome. Starting this week, we offer Wednesday practice from noon until 1 o'clock, or any portion thereof. Join us in the sanctuary for a time of spiritual practice of your choice. There will be a small altar area if you would like to bring an item. Music will be playing. This will be a non-facilitated time of meditation or prayer as you deem it should be, every Wednesday from noon until 1 o'clock. It is the sacred responsibility of spiritual community to acknowledge every season of life, including that most complicated season. I bring you the news this morning that our beloved brother Randy Burton Harden has passed beyond our sight. So let us take a breath and let us close our outer eyes and let us hold his husband, Lynn, their family, and all in a moment of silence. Becomes necessary on any human journey to reach that point at which, to the physicality of us. We do say, in the words of old, ashes to ashes and dust to dust, but to the very soul, to that very soul, we simply say Godspeed. Godspeed. And so it is. Practical spirituality, welcoming community. Nathan, can you fix this? Can you make everything work, Nathan? And indeed, and now it doesn't stop. There it stopped. There it stopped. You remember that moment in The Wizard of Oz when the curtain parted? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You gotta wing it. Practical spirituality, welcoming community. That mission statement, so short in word, but so very deep in meaning. And so it is that I always like to remind myself of one of the supporting statements which we developed in conversation with your board of trustees beginning in late 2014, and I invite you to eavesdrop on my reminding of myself. As I say, we teach the unity of all life, transcendent of culture, era, or religion, or lack thereof. If you would like to pray with someone following the conclusion of this time together, if you are a member of our physical audience this morning, you are welcome to join a prayer chaplain in this general area that you might know whom you will approach. May I ask the prayer chaplains in service to you this morning to raise a hand or to stand and to allow us to identify you. Oh, you are in for a good day. I highly recommend that you engage one of these trained, noble, enlightened beings. And if you are a member of our virtual sanctuary this morning or this afternoon, this evening, at night, it doesn't matter, and you would like to pray with someone following this time together, simply start the process by writing prayer at unityinlynnwood.org. Include a working telephone number and expect a call within hours. I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy to see you. I begin our time together with gratitude. Yet again, gratitude. You are the highlight of my week. Take these words of invocation in the manner best suited to you this morning. You're welcome to close your eyes, to have the sense that they are doing you, or you may whisper along, you may read exuberantly. It matters not. They begin, though imaged and named variously, there is a singular and eternal ground of being from which all life emanates and into which all life retreats. We choose to call this ground of being God. By extension, we come to understand that we are spiritual in nature, human in expression, and limitless in potential. We gather today to remember such truths, to celebrate our unity, and to honor all life. And so it is. This thing called unity, it arose in a time when mental healing was commonplace. Whether over distance or in person, those sought for their abilities to somehow facilitate change in body or in circumstance through matters of mind were respected and they were highly sought. And while these matters of mind, if you will, might be called prayer and spiritual circles, some of these mental healing practitioners would reject that label, citing that in some cases it was organized religion that put the problem into the mind in the first place. And I wouldn't arbitrarily disagree. For its many beauties, religion sometimes has a bit of a shadow. And so it was that when Myrtle Page Fillmore successfully overcame her diagnosis of tuberculosis through a courageous wrestling with matters of mind. In her case, she used meditation and affirmation, forgiveness, and the like. And when others asked her to help them do the same, which she did with a lot of documented success, by the way, this thing called unity was born. So I think it can be suggested that you are experiencing a tradition with a long history in the body, mind, spirit connection paradigm that is so widely accepted today. And even though its teachings would go on to be expressed in the language of the Judeo-Christian tradition, unity isn't considered exclusive to Judeo-Christian peoples. As I've asked so many times before, in the early 1900s, in Midwest farm country, you're getting the picture, what other language would Myrtle and Charles Fillmore have used to express their teachings? While they were deeply influenced by other traditions, and while they were well read and inclusive of the wisdom of those traditions, I tend to think the Unity co-founders had to speak in a language which their people were able to hear. And that was the language of the Judeo-Christian tradition. Early 1900s Midwestern farmers may or may not have been able to hear the language of Swami Vivekananda, even though the Fillmores could. And they did. Zoroaster, who? You can just hear it, right? Siddhartha, what? At the same time, I like to believe that if the Fillmores were still teaching today, their language would be much broader. I like to think that. So I might say that you are experiencing a tradition which is decidedly Christian in terms of its early language of articulation, and yet unity is a tradition which does not position itself or its peoples above or apart from those of other faith traditions, so much as it positions itself and its peoples alongside those of other faith traditions. I am proud. I am ever proud that Unity in Lynnwood's ranks continue to include devout Catholics and Buddhists, and yes, Wiccans and pagans and agnostics and atheists alike. I consider it a profound beauty of this particular center that we will not seek to convert you from any one path, if you will, to any other path, because we recognize, even accept, even honor the appropriateness of your path for you. I consider it a profound beauty of this center that not only do we recognize, accept, and honor your path, we are likely to ask you about it. Tell us what you bring to our collective table. Tell us about the wisdom of your tradition. Tell us about the practices of your tradition, the beliefs of your tradition. This is why you've heard me say so often, Unity in Lynnwood, the church of the holy curiosity. Church of the holy curiosity. Unity is wildly inclusive because Unity believes that all traditions, at least at their very core, all traditions are in the waking up business, and that all traditions have value to bring to that goal. And yes, there are those in every tradition who would leverage that tradition as a tool for awakening. And there are those in every tradition who would leverage that tradition as a weapon for separation. And this describes the real tension in today's religious world. The real tension doesn't so much exist between our traditions. The real tension exists within them. Said simply, all traditions are in the waking up business, and all traditions have those who forget. So it is that while many communities would demonstrate a brand of love that looks a lot like conformity, Unity tends to demonstrate a brand of love that looks a lot like inclusivity. It's interesting to note that polytheistic cultures, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. This one may shake you just a little bit. It's interesting to note that polytheistic cultures are historically more peaceful than monotheistic cultures. There's something that happens when one gets the so-called right answer to a thing that becomes worthy of all manner of chaos. The Roman Empire itself allowed the traditions and practices of various subjugated peoples. The difficulty they had with allowing the Christian traditions and practices was that the early Christians were so completely unwilling to return the courtesy. Whew. There's your first big one of the day. I read a compelling minister's article recently, and I quote, "We don't hate them. In fact, we love the LGBTQ people so much we're willing to help them change from their evil ways." Wow. We don't hate them, we love them so much we're willing to help them change. That is not unity, you see. We hold change as a product of love, not as a condition for love. I think it's really quite a model for an entire world, don't you think? The primal drive for a comfortable homogeny giving way to the daring idea of a messy diversity. How about that? So, bring your Zoroastrian self. That's what I say. Bring your non-binary self. Bring your uniquely abled self. We believe you are really quite divine exactly as you are, and we are most eager to love each other better for your presence. It was several decades past when a Fillmore descendant sought to define Unity's core teachings. Now, it's important that we grasp that Unity does not have, another deep breath, Unity does not have one central text, unlike so many of our contemporary traditions. Centers for Spiritual Living, of course, has the science of mind. It's one example. Christian Science has Science of Health as another. Unity has a bunch of books which were writings of the Fillmores or compilations of the Fillmores, transcriptions of the Fillmores, even scribbles and doodles of the Fillmores. So when a Fillmore descendant distilled Unity's core teachings into 5 basic ideas, 5 basic tenets, it was, I imagine, quite warmly welcomed. And it's at the beginning of every calendar year, or roughly so, that I like to present those 5 tenets. Now, these are not new in human history or in religious thought, even though they can seem like so for some. Now, the first tenet is often languaged as there is one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. Am I the only one here who knows that? There is one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Now, this is not new in human history, and it's not new in religious thought. Over our tens of thousands of years as nomadic hunter-gatherers, we were what some call animists, you see. Early sapiens widely believed something that went like this. We widely believed ourselves able to communicate and to cooperate with a universal spirit that could be found in all of life for our own individual and collective well-being. And we got good at it. The average nomadic hunter-gatherer had deep knowledge of seasons and cycles, animals and plants, signs and symbols. So while it might be said that we today know more collectively, they knew more individually. That is the third big breath I have requested of you today. You are doing such a good job. In fact, science has suggested that for the first time in the evolution of sapiens, our brains might actually be smaller than those of our ancestors. So we were animists. But with the rise of the agricultural revolution, now this is about 10,000 years ago, give or take, we lost this. And we lost it because as we became the owners of rocks and hills and plants and things, as the song says, we graduated from being members in a family of life to being masters of a family of life. As we built fences and erected shelters, we graduated from being participants to imagining ourselves as owners. And we paid a price. There is one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Now, if you're like me, even the word God can be problematic. I'm being hard on you today, aren't I? If you're like me, even the word God can be problematic because it tends to conjure a human first and a male human second. Do a reality check on yourself here. and a human male who exists somewhere out there, third, and so on. The word God is problematic because it defies the very experience of God right here, which so many faith traditions encourage us to seek. So even the word God is problematic because we do what humanity has always done. We project self onto the without, and the powerful suggestion of a humanity created in the likeness of God becomes the twisted dysfunction of a God created in the likeness of humanity, complete with bad moods, favorite peoples, anger issues. I might suggest that this alone is a universal problem, these words of ours. It's a universal problem because words are at their very best crude representatives for matters of awareness. Crude representatives subject to all manner of limitation and distortion by both the giver and the receiver. It is a problem to think you're communicating just because you spew some words horizontally and someone nods their head vertically. So now beyond all... Okay. So beyond all of this tenet suggests at its core that there is one source behind all expressed form. There is one source behind rocks and hills and plants and things, as the song says. As our words of invocation would remind, there is one singular ground of being from which all life emanates and into which all life retreats. So while sapiens have been fashioning gods in our image since emerging caves on the Afro-Asian land mass maybe 150,000 years ago, and while sapiens have imagined all manner of antagonists and antagonistic forces to oppose this ground of all being, in the end, unity would suggest that the nature of God really is unified, it is eternal, and it is comprehensive. Omnipresence and anything else cannot be omnipresence. From physics to biology, history, now math, he's doing math. Omnipresence and anything else cannot be omnipresence. So to be clear, unity would suggest that the devil didn't really make you do anything. The devil didn't really make me blame my neighbor for throwing rocks at cars. And the devil didn't make her tell her parents on me in return. There is God. To quote the Apostle Paul, as he quoted a panentheistic poem, by the way, there is a singularity in which we live, move, and have our being. There is one source behind everything and behind everyone. We are all made of the same stuff, and it's the stuff of eternal beingness itself. It's the stuff of endless isness itself. I like to say that the first tenet suggests a natural order of things that knows how to support the fullness of its creation, of which you are a part, by the way, and that's tenet number 2. Come back next Sunday. I like to say that the first tenet suggests a natural order of things that knows how to support the fullness of its creation. So the challenge to you because I'm concerned that you haven't been challenged quite enough yet today. The challenge to you as spiritual thinkers this week is to set aside your demanding for a moment for more listening. Set aside your demanding for more listening. The challenge to you as spiritual thinkers this week is to set aside all of that asking for a time of aligning. A time of aligning. There's a natural order of things. It knows how to do you. It's another way of saying it. Are you cooperating or are you frustrating it? Are you resisting? There's the question for today. It's a core question. It is a universal and timeless question. Are you cooperating or are you frustrating? In the end, unity, at least through me, would encourage each of us to seek an awareness of that God that existed before we emerged from caves and began to mess everything up with our human projections, limitations, tendencies, and systems. Unity would encourage each of us to seek an awareness of that God of one, that God of all, that God of everything, that God that can be found in every religion and yet can be limited to no single religion, that God that exists in rocks and hills and plants and things, as the song says. The first tenet of unity says that there is one. Hold up a finger and do this. This is a powerful declaration of transcendent spiritual truth. Unity's first tenet says that there is one, and that when we really, really get that, when we really grasp this at the level of consciousness and begin to live lives from our awareness of one, at long last, we begin to heal individually. At long last, we begin to heal collectively. Take a deep breath. Close the outer eyes with me. Unity's first tenet says there is that at the core of you that knows how to do you. It is in the business of being itself through its creation. There is that at the core of you which knows how to do you. There is nothing you have ever done that can distance you from it. There is nothing you have to accomplish. There is nothing you have to earn. There is that at the core of you that knows how to do you. So allow our prayers then this morning to be prayers of listening, prayers of aligning with that would support its creation. And that includes me. whenever awareness has arisen, let us make a commitment not to abandon it as we reopen these human eyes, but let us make a commitment to bring it forth, to allow it to become the very eyes through which we perceive, the hearts, the minds, the hands. We do not abandon this consciousness of that which resides at the very core of us, of that life which resides at the very core of all expression, but we bring it forth. Our prayer then becomes a prayer of yes to that which would support me today. I simply say yes. I simply say yes. I simply say yes.
Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om 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 Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om.
Thank you, Dr. Richard, and thank you to our band. I love it when I can walk away with a nugget. I can listen and align. I can work on it anyway. In these moments, we do a little inward turn again as we focus our attention for a moment on that irrefutable law called the law of giving and receiving. We observe the law everywhere in this natural world, and it extends to the invisible that encompasses us. At Unity in Lynnwood, we offer opportunities to practice giving and receiving so that we might move in harmony with the divine flow and its laws. This is our pause for offerings. Of course, our financial support matters to the health and the well-being of this community, to our organization, but we believe too that our giving matters to each of us as individuals. The amount of money and how much it would buy is always secondary to the power of our money when we infuse it with our purpose, our intention, and our soulful energy as we make our contribution. Electronic giving options appear on your screen. For those who are choosing to give a physical gift, we will have baskets coming around in just a few moments. If you would like information about Unity in Lynnwood's programs of regular giving, planned giving, or legacy giving, please take a Giver Circle brochure, which you would find back at the Welcome and Information station in that corner that I'm pointing to, or you can write Dr. Richard directly. For those already participating in planned giving, we extend a special thanks. Please join me in our offering affirmation as it appears on the screen. I give freely and fearlessly, fulfilling the law of giving and receiving.
Blessed blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
I do want to thank you on behalf of Unity in Lynnwood for all gifts given. So, I want to take just a moment and find out if there's a brave newcomer who's willing to just raise a hand, that's all, so we could wave back and extend an extra special welcome. I don't see any hands wave. Oh, I do see. Oh, good, another. Oh, the bravery's growing here. It's contagious. I'd just like to orient people that haven't been with us many times a little bit to what's around you and how you can learn more about us. There are little information cards in the back of the chairs in front of you, and they have quite a bit of information about who we are, also how you can stay in touch with us, which it is not only means an email or maybe two a month. Other information, back at our Welcome and Information Station, I also referred to that earlier, you'll have a lot of opportunity there to grab brochures and things that will help inform you about who we are and what we do here. We have a gift store and bookshop right around the corner here by the front door called Soul Things. Lots of wonderful things to look at there, including many books and wonderful gift items. So please stop in there. For new people, we have a little gift for you, a Daily Word, which is a Unity publication. It extends over 2 months and just gives a little daily reading that's uplifting. And do you have a thought that you would like me to? Okay, but Marion, you will find Marion in our bookstore. So when she raises her hand, I listen. So we hope that you will be able to stay after service, walk across the hall to the Friendship Hall, have a cup of coffee, and maybe make a new friend. I have a few invitations for you. And a reminder always, please register for all events by visiting our website and the calendar page specifically at unityinlynnwood.org. Please take a look at the small group ministry offerings. You'll see them on the screen. Our annual financials meeting is going to be held on Sunday, January 29th at 12:30 p.m., so after our service. The Unity in Lynnwood's Board of Trustees invites you to attend this meeting so that they can give us all information about the past year's finances, about our current position, and what the 2023 budget looks like. For any of you who have been here since a year ago, I don't think you'd want to miss this meeting. It's been a very lovely, uplifting story over the course of this year. On Tuesdays, starting on Tuesdays, January 31st, there's no 35th this time. January 31st, our prayer class will begin. Unity was founded on prayer, a particular kind of prayer we call affirmative prayer. It's a prayer form that claims our divine nature, the truth of our being, and opens us to greater good. We invite you to bring this powerful prayer practice into your life or to just have a prayer tune-up. Eric Butterworth said that when we are stuck in our stuff, the way out is the way in, into our heart-centered divine self. This class is required to become a prayer chaplain and may be taken for credit through Unity Worldwide Ministries. And I'm quite sure there's no limit on how many times you can take this class. Is that right, Barbara? Because I've taken it quite a few times. A women's visioning workshop is coming up on Thursday, February 9th, 6:30 p.m. This will be a vision workshop for women, just for all women, hosted by women of Unity. Plan to bring an open heart and be prepared for meditation and crafting. A light supper will be provided. Love offering, gratefully accepted. And a nice event we're kind of excited about on Valentine's Day, February 14th, will be Chocolate Cabaret. It is an event that is a repeat of something that's happened in the past. And if you've been there in the past, I suspect you are making your way as quickly as possible to get your tickets. 7 p.m., join us for an evening of love songs as interpreted by the incomparable Matthew Wilson and Rise Macon. And I noticed, Matthew, that your favorite accompanist isn't even mentioned. Are you bringing him?
I always include him, and he takes it out of the announcements. Dr. Richard will be joining us on piano.
Dr. Richard will be joining us. I'm glad we've clarified that. Fine wines and chocolate delicacies of every variety will also be available for your enjoyment. We celebrate love at Unity in Lynnwood. Finally, if you would like a year-end donor letter, please write or ring our office and allow through the end of January for that to come.
12:30 today, the third membership class in the sanctuary.
Thank you, John. 12:30 today, the third membership class right here in the sanctuary.
Yeah, if you're interested in that, it's bylaws and policies today. So if you woke up this morning saying, you know what I need, some good bylaws. It's just today is your day. 2 additional things. Starting on Wednesdays, 2 o'clock in the afternoon for 6 consecutive Wednesdays, starting from the 8th, Nancy Merrill is hosting a movement event called Let's Get Moving. It's based upon the study of somatics. All are welcome. Would you stand and let us eyeball you, Nancy Merrill? And then on Sunday the 12th, your men's group invites you to breakfast. Show up at 9:30 on the 12th and allow your men's group to make you pancakes. John Brooks is among the hosts of that initiative. How fun is that? How fun is that? Linda, thank you. Such a pleasure. What if there is that at the core of you that knows how to live you? There it is. Why can't he just say it in that few words? I can hear you. What if there is that at the core of you that knows how to live you and that knows how to establish balance and equilibrium among the totality of its creation? There is Unity's first tenet. It's what I believe. So our role becomes about how do we cooperate with that which resides at the core of us. It knows how to be itself as us, individually and collectively. There is the question of the day. Take a deep breath. Let us close the outer eyes. If you're comfortable doing so, you might place a hand on the very heart of you and say, whether silently or aloud, the essence of me is ample. The essence of me is ample. The essence of me is ample. Just be with it. Notice, observe, watch. Allow it to inform you. Allow it to reveal that which needs to be revealed. The essence of me is ample. And we carry this into our week, closing as we always do, with sung words of blessing, with sung words of farewell.
May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure